Hello, Paddy.
Go and blow you up.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's wee Paddy here, ready and willing to start the Paddy and Pals podcast tonight. I have Justin on my right, and I have, what's his name again?
Mikhail
on my left. You're very welcome to the channel. First of all, no knife news at all. Knife news on another subject. I'm sorry, but we're just still waiting on this other factory to do the grinding. So sorry, but there's just nothing we can do about it. Again, I'll let you know as soon as anything changes. It's just beyond our control. We just have to let it go.
So what are we talking? What are we doing here today? We don't have any knife news or anything.
No, we've no knife news, but
we're very boring.
Yes, it's been quite a hectic week for myself. I've just come back from holiday at the weekend there, and there's been that many things going on. My wee dog's in the vet's not well, really struggling at the minute, so that's not good.
No, it's not. Mikey, what have you been? Lift us up a wee bit after that. Down there, what have you been up to?
I've been getting rid of a few blades. I have shed knives. Shed knives.
Shed.
You're shedding.
I have released back into the wild somewhere near in 20 blades, and in return I've received 3 blades in. So there you go.
Yeah, 20 for 3. Finally, Mikey, you've got the hang of this whole equation.
It did take a while.
Another 40 weeks of that, and you'll have a normal size collection.
Yeah, you'll have about 400.
Yeah,
something like that.
Normal size collection. I don't want to be normal.
No, well, that's very true, but I don't think anybody could accuse any of us of being normal, Mikey. I mean, it's
good point. Well made.
Yeah, but I mean, on that front, Mikey has promised us a recount of the collection towards the middle of the summer. So
I've already bet now
that
there's going to be more in it than there was the last time.
More, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going about 550, 600.
Well, considering the fact that on one trip to America, you came back with 50 knives.
No, but that was after the count, wasn't
it? Yes, it was after the count. So not bad. One trip, 50 knives. The amount of car boot sales he's been to, and he's coming back with about 10 or 12 every time.
And there was our weekend in Sheffield as
well.
And
the weekend in Sheffield. The man is going to have more than he had before, and he can't see it yet, but Paddy's going to be right.
No, because now I'm going into major overdrive mode, maximum overdrive. I'm going to start posting them out to just random people.
Because it is but that's the truth. It is very easy to fool your mind into thinking, oh, it's coming down now. And then you add to it, and you don't realize you're doing it.
And especially when you think when you've gone through one of those phases where you haven't been getting an awful lot through in the post.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't been buying from Moonraker or Henny or
you're getting them elsewhere.
But you know, you still did buy 25 knives on the Saturday when you were down with Sean at that car boot sale or in that flea market. Yeah.
Is that why I had to get 2 extra knife boxes?
Yes, it is. Quite probably. I mean, Elan, the question is very, very well put. I mean, have we hit or surpassed 1,000 yet? Not sure yet, but
no, I think we're in the mid 600 still.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of you're right, Steve. There probably is a wee bit of equilibrium going in there, but I trust this man. I have faith in his process. I'm going at 550. Mikey, I'm with you all the way.
The closest, my 650 to your 550, the closest
buys the next Ashley.
Fuck off. Excuse me.
What a shed.
Sorry. I apologize.
Whoa, Leslie. Whoa there, Leslie. Hold your horses. Come on there.
Yeah, no.
He was shocked into that. It was purely justified.
Yeah.
The one who is closest, I shall send you a knife.
That sounds good.
Yeah, you know what we're going to get, don't you? He'll buy another one of them things and send it to us.
I won't buy another Lansky. I promise. I won't buy a knife especially. I will gift one of you to whoever is closest. I will gift you a knife.
Okay. But if it's a Lansky, you know what's going to happen to it.
I don't own a Lansky. I don't own a Lansky. Okay, they're gone.
Good man.
They're gone.
I'm glad to hear it.
So what are we going to do tonight? tonight we decided we'd do something again a little bit different for us. And we've decided we've picked 3 knives that all 3 of us have. And we thought we'd just have a discussion about them knives. They're all different knives. And we thought they would make for a nice discussion on why we like them. Is there anything we would change about them? And we picked 3 companies that a lot of us that are on this channel have.
Yeah.
We've got a Case, we've got a Rosecraft, and we have an Ashley Harrison.
Yeah.
But for Ashley Harrison, read Arthur Wright.
Yeah.
So, but we picked one that's just an absolutely stunner in all our collections. It's one of the top ones. So we just wanted to show off a wee bit, going from the normal knives to the higher end.
And I suppose the beauty of this conversation as it develops, and what I want everybody to watch out for is, as I noted in the introduction to this when I posted it this afternoon, belatedly as usual, is keep an eye out for the really obscure basis that Stephen finds to argue that he's right and we're wrong. Okay? Because there's always something, isn't there, Mikey? There's always some weird and wonderful basis where Stephen goes, no, you're wrong.
Hang on.
You're wrong.
Hang on. I can't help but point out facts. If people believe the facts, you are wrong.
Fake news, people. Fake news.
Yeah, but I'll buy 3 trillion of arms from America for you.
Well, that'll pay for 1 knife from China at these prices.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, at least we're not going to get that increase in our knives from China.
You wash your mouth out with soap and water, Baron. You should never put those 2 words in print.
Oh dear.
Folder.
So what knife would you like to start? Since I'm the bad man, you pick the first knife.
Well, no, it's your thing. So you have
No,
to go
no,
first. No, you have to go first.
It's my thing.
Shall we go for? Well, yeah.
Well, what about going for the Case?
Yes, I was thinking that.
Because it gets a lot of bad rap, but we picked it.
I like when you did that. Bad blade rap.
It gets lots of bad rap, a lot of the times. But I mean, I have a collection of Case which are fabulous. I have had bad ones in the past, but on the whole, I pick ones now that I've seen or I'm buying from somebody who I know will tell me what it's like, and I've been really lucky at doing that. So, we're starting with what is probably one of the. It's a mainstay of a really good pattern that they make really well most of the time,
but we never ever talk about it.
No, and to me, it's one of my best Case users. I love using it more than most of the other cases. The Barlows I like, but this is one of the ones I like to use when I want a locking knife. And we've picked a traditional knife with a lock.
So let's cut to the chase here,
Stephen. Cut to the chase. Well, I'm going to go with the bog standard. And again, I got this because it took me a long time to get this.
What it is first.
Sorry.
Put them out of their suspense.
It's the Case copper lock. And I have it in the just bog standard yellow Delrin. Just a classic, and I got this off Robert Whitting.
Robert
Cutting.
Oh, what? Cutting.
When we went over 2 years ago to Sharp Show, and I got it for, I think it was 20 quid. So it was just a steel, you know what I mean? And it's in carbon steel. I think that is probably one of the prettiest knives that Case make. I love their clip. I think it is stunning on that. It's just done to perfection. It's everything I like. It's got the long pull. It's got the beautiful big swedge. It has that movement in the blade. And I love that clip when it's got that movement, like a going forward movement. I love the shape of it in my hand. You have, obviously, like with a copper head, you have this bit that will stop your finger. But you can also sneak up there in complete safety, really. I just grip the biggest part of that finger on it. It's about halfway down. And I'm absolutely stable. It cuts beautifully. The edge is nice on it. It's got a fantastic lockback, which is so secure, but yet very smooth. It's a bit off center, but to be honest with you, for £20, why would you complain?
But there's no tension on it. When
no,
it's closed,
absolutely not. It's just beautiful.
It really is a cracker.
And I know it's plain, and I actually do want to get a fancy one now, in a nice bit of bone. nice bit of red bone or
Yeah.
something, I would fancy that. As long as I can get the carbon steel for this one, because it's going to be a user, and I like using carbon steel. So that's the one thing I will hold out for till I get one that I like.
And I remember when you got this one because you found it in one of the. I mean, how would you describe those wee plastic boxes, Mikey? Weren't they like cast-off boxes?
Yeah, it was a £20 box.
Lucky dip.
Lucky dip. Yeah, it was just.
Ah, what the drawers that were on the front of the stall.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even the drawers. It was just like
they're boxes. Yeah, that's where I found my doctor's knife.
Oh yes, and
absolutely mint
as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's in yellow down. Absolutely mint, and that was 20 quid, I think.
Yeah, I think mine was 20 quid as well.
And it's a fabulous wee knife.
It's just a lovely little EDC, solid.
Yeah.
There's no lock or rock on it that you would get on a lot of lockbacks, but case, I have to say that to me is the essence of an EDC knife to me.
Yeah.
It's the right size. It's not too big, not too small. It'll do harder tasks if you wanted to. It sharpens really nicely.
Yeah.
You get a real. I have to say, I don't know what their carbon steel is, their old carbon steel, but it really does take a screaming edge.
Yeah.
And with no effort.
And I mean, there's nothing in terms of the plate stock there.
No,
I mean, there's no width behind it. It's just rugby and thing. But I mean, you were talking about, an EDC carry for the wallet, and that's another super slim knife.
Yeah.
That would just slip up the wee pouch and disappear.
Exactly. Yeah, because the Delrin's not that thick either. It's just such a.
No weight to it.
I have to be honest, I quite like the yellow Delrin.
Yeah.
I really do quite like it. It's not bad.
It does have character.
Yeah.
It definitely does have character.
And I suppose that the one thing you can do with Delrin, if I give that a wee knock with sandpaper, you could dye it whatever. Oh, I could dye it.
Here we go. Well, he does
live. This is a live idea.
That's a live idea. I have some lovely racing red. I can give that a wee knockdown with sandpaper and racing red it. Yes,
I quite like the yellow Delrin when it's starting to look old and like aged, and it starts to go even sort of like less bright and stuff.
This one has been used, but that Delrin just wears up so well. I mean, that's not a young knife, and it's been used. I mean, at one stage there was some rust on the blade as well. I rubbed it off. You can see the mark and the pit in there. There's pitting along the front. I don't know what that was on there.
That's just character.
Yeah, exactly. That would never stop me buying a £20 knife. So yeah, to me, I've seen your two, and yours look much more attractive than mine, as in just a visual aspect. And I think that's why I really fancy the bone. I think I'll probably just keep the yellow Delrin and go for a bone to go with it.
Yeah. Well, it would make a nice contrast to it. But I think we've teased everybody enough. Mikey, are you going to show us? So show us your bone, mate. Show us your bone. Elon's going to have a heyday with that one.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Look at that.
So this is what I believe is called the antique smooth bone, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's funny. All three of us have got the smaller version. They do a larger version as well, but all three of us have the smaller version.
I don't have a larger version, and I'd quite like to try one out because this is a nice size. I mean, it's kind of a perfect EDC size, but I would like to try out the larger version for sure.
Yeah, I have the double large one in the double blade, but it's the slip joint version. It's big, isn't it? A slip joint version, I think. Go ahead, Mikey. You talk away there while I have a quick footer here.
So I'm a huge fan of these copper locks, and I've got two of them. I've got another one of these, but it's really, really special, and it's one that Randy gave to me. But this one I thought I'd show because it doesn't come out much, and it's got such a glorious colour to it. The one thing that I'd change about this knife is the blade steel.
Because you get the stainless.
This one's stainless. I would love this knife with this handle, but with a carbon steel blade.
Yeah, I think they do a red one in carbon steel, don't they? A dark red.
I think they do, yeah. But I love it. But I absolutely adore this little knife. It's really small. It's really light as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, this one's perfectly centered. It's an absolutely faultless case, to be fair, other than the fact that that case don't do enough carbon steel. I think as an EDC knife, if we could carry a lock knife freely, this would be perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely perfect. I mean, most of us carry them anyway, don't we?
What a great little knife to throw in your shorts, or your long shorts, whatever you wear. I think that's a super little knife to throw in the pocket. But
it's also sort of like proper pocket jewelry as well, because it looks so nice. It's got that lovely deep that lovely deep clip, just the way that it that it swoops down. I think it's wonderful, that knife.
I think when they do their bone like that, I think it's like a tobacco bone. It looks as if it's been used and been stained over years. It just looks gorgeous.
This is when Case get the dye jobs absolutely spot on, because I think this will probably get nicer and nicer with age as well.
Yeah, it is. It's got a warmth to it. It's got that kind of lovely honey, lovely, gorgeous glow to it.
Mocha.
Yeah,
just lovely.
It is.
Yeah, so for me, it's one of my favourite smaller lock knives, and other than the steel on this, I think it's just about a perfect knife.
Yeah,
for me.
The chief is asking if would that be considered tobacco bone, Mikey? Have you heard that term before?
Chief, kick a bitch off the.
I'm pretty sure on the box it's got antique bone. So
variation.
It's the tobacco bone's a little bit more darker, I think, than that. That's got an awful lot of light in it, where the tobacco is stained looking.
Yeah, this has got a lot more honey to it, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And well, Tim, we all know that Stephen likes a bulbous end, so what can we tell you?
Again, that makes it, for me, that's probably why it's so nice as an EDC knife, because it gives you
it's nice. It's really nice in the hand, because you've got the the bolster coming down, and your fingers can sit right behind that, and it feels really safe to use.
Yeah, it's lovely. I like the fact you can sneak up on it even more. That's
because you can get in between there, and then just.
You only get about half a finger on, but you're pulling back, and you're completely safe because it's a locking knife. So you're completely safe.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice knife. And in fact, I think I might. When I'm in Texas next year, I might go for a larger version. Bring it back.
Yeah, I'll show you one in a minute at the end once we see Justin's. I've got one that I think you would like. So yeah.
Mine is the same sort of idea as Mikey's, in that it's the stainless steel version with the, and it's a little bit more, but I think this is amber jig bone.
Yeah.
Amber peach seed jig, yeah.
Yeah, and the weird thing about it is that for some reason it's not shield upside down, or is that the way Case
do? That's the way it does it. Yeah.
Really?
Like.
Well, why?
I have no idea.
Why?
I think because they've always done it.
It just messes with my sense of symmetry.
Yeah.
It really
but
does.
when the knife's closed, I still find myself holding a knife, closed with that there.
Yeah. With it
yeah.
up. Well,
no, I do sort of hold it up, but yeah, I get you.
I got this one to match the famous canoe that I got at Sharp Show. I think I got this one off the forums, and I started to do the collection until Gus guilt tripped me into giving the canoe away.
Oh yeah, was that the famous canoe or the infamous canoe?
Infamous, notorious. You're quite right, Mikey. You're quite right. It was the scene of my shame, the downfall of Justin's honor. And I regret nothing. You
have no regrets, do you? No regrets.
None at all. As I said before, I had conscience and heart and soul removed when I joined Human Resources. What can I tell you? But in terms of soul, this wee knife is absolutely fantastic. The thing that gets me about this friggin' knife? Why the hell do we not carry this more often? Why do we not talk about it more often? Because the way I always bitch about GEC not being able to do a lockback? This is a perfect lockback.
It is.
There's no play in this whatsoever.
And Case have a number of knives like that where they just do a really good job on them. For some reason, there's a few patterns that they really nail.
It's
like the little sway back.
Yes.
I mean, it's nearly always perfect. And I mean, I just don't understand why they have little, and they've been doing the same knives for years, good.
Yeah.
And yet the other ones are getting,
Yeah.
But,
but
so enjoy the good is my
exactly. I mean, and don't knock a case until you actually try it.
They do these really well. You're right. They really do these well.
The nice thing about this pattern is it comes in a lockback, and it comes in exactly the same with a slip joint
in the copperhead.
In the copperhead that comes with a large and small copperheads. And I mean, I've got this is one I think you'd like, Mikey. This is the slip joint version. He's not looking at me. He's just.
I'm watching like the chat as well. I've got one of those. I've got one of those in red jig bone.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is the copper lock, but this is not the copper lock. This is the copperhead. This is no lock. And I mean, this is a fabulous. This is a larger knife, and I just want to give you them for a size comparison. That's the large, and this is the small. So I mean, they're not even. All the length is nearly all in that blade.
I love the Warncliffe blade on it, and then the smaller pen blade. It's a lovely combination.
And it's a fairly big, small pen blade. Like it is a good size. It's got, what is it? It's got 2-inch cutting in a wee pen blade, which I think is a nice size.
And Elan's sort of put up another one as well, because the tribal lock is another one that gets a really good write up.
Tribal lock's a lovely knife.
And shall I tell you a thing, Mikey? I think I've seen the matching tribal lock for yours.
Do you know I've never had a tribal lock.
I'm pretty sure that I think it's ACW Knives have got a tribal lock in that.
Wasn't that at Sharp Show last year on his stall? And it had been there for a while because we thought it might have been a little bit too expensive.
Yeah.
Did they do a tribal lock in a slip joint version, or is it just locking?
No, I don't think so. I think it's always been it's one of their standard, most famous locking knives. Yeah,
right.
And it's got a really passionate following apart from anything else. But it's bigger than this apart from anything else. It's actually bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Have you got one?
No, I don't have one. But I have seriously considered getting one.
Yeah, I think I've seen one coming up on the second-hand market.
That was one of the knives that you went to Sharp Show to look at, wasn't it? That tribal lock, because we went and looked at it and we studied it 2 or 3 times, didn't we? But you didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, no, it was exactly because it just didn't at the time. It didn't quite speak to me. And again, maybe I was going through a slip joint phase or whatever it was, so the lock back didn't really cut it. But this one is a cracking wee knife. Again, I don't understand why we don't carry it, use it more often. And this is the thing I really like about the copper lock pattern and the copperhead pattern is the way it covers.
It covers the back of the tang. Yeah,
the back of the tang when the knife's folded. It's
such a nice,
just so elegant.
And it's like a canoe. The canoe actually covers both
ends. Yeah,
and it doesn't catch in your pocket, does it? And it doesn't catch on your slip or your finger or anything. Yeah, it's great.
I wouldn't know. I don't carry the canoe.
Yeah,
and I can't
no one carries a canoe.
Why, because I love the blades. They're both lovely little blades, but I just don't carry the bloody thing.
I love my canoes. Absolutely love a canoe. Never carry it. It's just one of those odd things.
It really is weird because I do carry this one. You know, I'll stick this in my pocket quite often, right? When I'm just mucking about the house or anything, I'll just throw it in my pocket. It's nice to have. Sometimes in the house, I like having a locking knife, and I can't even tell you why. I think it's because I can't carry them outside. I'm more than happy in the house to carry a locking knife.
I'm exactly the same, but it's also about not so much these ones, the lockback knives, but a Spidey or whatever else. Just the ease of deployment of a locking knife sometimes is just take it out and pick it in. Before you know, you've got your scone buttered and your cheese cut.
Although I'm a bit of a weirdo because I take them out and then open them by hand most of the time. It's just a habit I've got. I lifted a knife out of my pocket and I automatically go with my left hand to pull the blade out.
Well, I suppose there's no wrong way to do it.
No, there's not. I mean,
but you heard it here first. We agreed on something.
I've got to say as well, having the lock on the back, I much prefer it to anything like a liner lock or a frame lock. I just like the lock on the back of the knife. It just works for me.
Especially the mid lock, because you can just unlock it so easy with your finger.
One hand as well, you can do it.
Just to pop it on, and then you're free.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Nice thing.
It's brilliant.
That is. In fact, that's probably a really important thing about that locking knife is its ability to be one-handed.
One-handed.
To close, not to open,
Very
but to
much
close.
so.
Yeah, I have to say that's in fact that's such an important part. The lock is good and it locks up well. There's no lock rock, but the fact that you can do that, pop it over, and then you're into a completely safe closing one-handed.
Exactly.
That is such an important thing.
Yeah,
so that's why the mid lock. That's probably why I don't like the bucks as much. If the buck had a mid lock, what a different knife that would be.
It would be.
It would,
although I can shut a buck fine with like one hand. I've just got so used to it over the years. I can just hold it and then it just swings down. Just
all right.
It. Yeah.
Mine isn't that loose, but I mean I would do it on my jeans, sort of back on the back of the spine on my jeans and fold it that way. But just I have to say for a first pick, that is a super knife with lots of really
absolutely
positive points.
Stuart was actually asking, do any other manufacturers do?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Nearly all the bigger manufacturers would have done it. Just the fact there isn't many big manufacturers that do it. I don't think Buck do one. I've never seen a Buck one.
I'm not sure. It might have been an older pattern.
Yeah, it might have been, but
I mean, Buck don't even make a Barlow anymore, but they made lovely Barlows and Granddaddy Barlows, didn't they? So
I've just never seen one, but I know a lot of the other big companies did make the Copperhead. It was a popular model.
Yeah, but it was that's a good starting one, and it's always nice to bring one in that we don't give enough of a spotlight.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the next one we're going to talk about is another one of those that needs more spotlight. Although it hasn't been in a long time, it to me is going to be a knife of the future that people are going to want to collect, and probably for a lot of the same reason in my head as let's just talk about it. Let's not.
I'll tell you what. Let Mikey.
Introduce. Oh, go ahead, Mikey.
Mikey, do you want to? Because Mikey's got an interesting slant on this one.
Are we doing
Cane Creek? Yeah.
The Rough Rider Cane Creek. So, when this first launched, I've got to admit, I wasn't mad about it. A, for the size, and B, for the colours of the G10 handles.
This is a Rosecraft, by the way, just to let people know.
Yeah, this is the Rosecraft Cane Creek, like I just said, Stephen. Yeah. And this is about the same footprint, size-wise, as the Copper Lock, isn't it? It's about like the same length and stuff.
It's a four-finger handle.
Yeah, it is pretty much the same, Mikey. You're quite right.
A bit bigger than the Copper Lock.
No, it's actually, if anything, it's a little bit smaller.
But the handle is a full four-finger.
Yeah.
Whereas the Copper Lock has that big hood.
Yeah. Which is they're fabulous knives. Go ahead, Mike.
I think it was probably Stephen got this, Matt got this, and you were both raving about it. And I think I kind of just thought, right, okay, let's just get it, because I thought it was like a 70s deck chair, really. And I got it, and my first thing I thought was, this is quite small. And then I opened up the blade, and I thought that's a lot of blade for that size of knife. And the blade is wonderful. It's got a great action on it, and it kind of grew on me. But it never really took with me. I like it, but I never thought it was brilliant. I thought the most outstanding feature was the belly of the blade, and that blade is wonderful. The rest of it, I was like, oof. And then they went and brought out the wooden handled version, and that's when I fell in love with it. That's when I thought that now it looks like a real knife. Yeah.
And I have to say, no, Mikey, I think that's because we're both in that particular phase at the minute where the natural materials in our knives, it's just bone 100%. And particularly wood. My Carta Yeah, a little bit, but not as much as it used to. It doesn't have as much of it, but the wood and the patterns and the green and the light play of light and dark on the handles that you get in these, it's just phenomenal.
And it's just sandalwood. It's not, you know,
like
it's
a
really,
high-end.
yeah, it's
The only
fantastic.
difference between mine and yours is the scales, and the scales totally make yours look like a different knife. To me, that looks like a proper sort of pocket knife now.
Yeah, it is an amazing pattern. It really is. And I mean, I always like the quirkiness of the deck chair. I did like it, but it was a quirky knife.
I didn't, then I did, and then I didn't, and then I did. And then for some reason, I had two of these, and I sent one to Nigel. And the one Rosecraft that I can see, if it comes up on the used market, would be this with the wooden handle.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably swap it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got a lovely walk and talk.
Oh, they do indeed. Listen to this.
Just
Yeah.
beautiful.
I know.
I mean, beautiful. But when you hold a little knife, it looks like a tiny little knife. You know, it looks like a number 14 or a little case peanut. It just looks smaller than what it actually is.
Very slim.
Very slim. It's like an optical illusion with a deck chair. And I'm the opposite. I absolutely adore this knife because I like colored knives. I've got quite a few multicolored knives that I just adore. And I've never, in fact, I think you got my wood one.
Yes.
Yeah, you got my wood one.
I got in there before Mikey did, which is why he hates me about it.
I mean, the wood is lovely and there's, you know, everything you said is right. But this just hit me up the face. I just thought, and when I put it in my hand, bloody hell, that's even more comfortable than a GEC15 in my hand. You know, it's got that little bit extra, couple of millimeters maybe extra than a 15, but it's that size of 15 pattern is my favorite. Just pocket.
You know what else? I think I find this G10. I think I find it a little bit slippy, a little bit. It doesn't really grip as well as a wooden handled knife.
All right.
Just make sure you don't say that name 3 times because he will appear.
Yeah, hopefully. Slippy.
No, don't do it, Mikey. Don't do it.
And the other thing about it, it's D2. And if we keep rocking on, the D2 that Rosecraft make is very good. It's a
lovely tool still. Yeah.
It's beautiful to work with. It sharpens really well for D2.
Oh, I think I've just found a buyer for mine.
Yeah, there you go. We'll keep you posted, Stuart.
But it's such a lovely little knife.
It is.
I just think it's a cracker.
One thing sticks in my mind about this knife as well. This is on the first week of me having this knife. I carried it for work, and this is the only Rosecraft that ever bit me, and it bit me quite deep on the tip of my finger because this came so sharp.
Yeah,
you did a
round
with your Cane Creek.
Straight down the centre of the finger, right, and it bled and bled. And I was in a care home at the time, and I had to. There was blood on the floor. Yeah, I was help on the window.
Is this just for respite?
Yeah. So I'm thinking that that might be part of the reason why I have a bit of a love-hate going on.
Yeah, but to me, this takes me back to my childhood when you used to get the colored knives on the old wood or the cardboard that you used that had ladies on them or had sort of different things on them. And
now you're going back a bit.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and you'd have got them, and it reminds me of that happy time.
Right.
And that's the funny thing, Mike, because I remember when the new release of the Cane Creek came through, and I was going to myself, great, Paddy will be moving, Stephen will be moving one of those on then. And I was thinking he'd move on the deck chair one, and I was thinking, that's a great wee knife. And then when I heard he wanted to keep the deck chair one and was moving on the wooden one, I nearly took his arm with him. With it. It was like,
you've got both knives there. Which one do you both prefer?
Deck chair.
Wood.
Wood.
No doubt. Yeah.
I mean, would I have a wooden one, in place of that? Absolutely. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest because I think it's a beautiful knife. But that's one of the knives that makes me smile.
Yeah.
sometimes I come in and I'm in a sort of mood in the mornings or whatever. I'm just coming in, and if I'm like that, I pick a knife up that's cheerful, that cheers me up, and it's one of those knives that just cheers me up. And a bit like the yellow Delrin, you know, it's bright, it's just cheery, there, and it's just a wee smile.
But it's my opinion on this knife is has got its own particular slant on it as well, because this is a perfect knife for me because it's exactly the right size. As Stephen says, it's about a 15. It's just a little bit. It's a perfect, lovely, slim, elegant, pocketable, safe-looking knife. Together, this one together with the is it Tallahassee Lake, Mikey?
Tallahassee Lake. Now that's a beautiful knife.
Oh, it's a gorgeous knife. But these two are for me, they're like a pair, and they just hold it up a wee bit.
It's exactly the same size as a number 15.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, the number 15 is a much nicer blade, but I mean, it's just the same size. It's a little bit thinner than the 15. This is the TC Barlow.
That swell center.
It's got the swell center, different shape, but I mean, exactly the same size, which is my.
Yeah.
This is what a pen knife should be, because it fits so many people.
Yeah.
It fits you perfect. I maybe go up a wee bit closer up here, but it still gives me that full 4-finger grip.
But it's just a class wee knife to carry around. The Tallahassee Lake is about exactly the same.
Yeah,
it's almost exactly the same size. Perfect. And I just think they make a lovely wee pair of and as examples of Rosecraft ability to make good knives. Classy knives. I don't think you can get any better. And I mean, I haven't seen any bad wooden handles on any of the Rosecraft, but this one is particularly good. Yeah. This one is particularly good.
And I think the thing is that Rosecraft, for me, because they do that straightforward, there you go, boring man in the suit, and then they do Cheerful Charlie.
No, I get it.
I mean, that's it. They have the ability to not take things too seriously. They'll give you a serious version. They'll give you a nice bright version. And that Tallahassee has got one of the most deepest blues.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's just beautiful.
It's breathtaking, really.
It is just, and again, 60 quid. I mean, and for the perfection that you get, and I'm not using that word loosely.
It's just beautifully put together.
But you know, I've still got this knife. I've still got this knife, and it's all about it's the blade for me. I think it's a wonderful blade.
It is.
I was just about to say that, Mikey. I agree with you. They knocked it out of the ballpark with the blade on this because that swedging on the top and it's unusual for a clip. I mean, it's a variation on a California clip and whatever else. It's got a lovely bit of belly. Good bit of
the belly on it is great because the blade swoops down. If you hold the knife straight, so for like cutting stuff out and that, it's brilliant. So good.
Yeah. It's like a slimmed down version of the Barlow. The
Losahatchee.
No,
the Otter Creek.
The Otter Creek. It's not very like the Otter Creek, except the Otter Creek has a fatter belly, the bigger belly.
Right.
But it's that
shape.
Not
as long. Yeah.
I mean, they've got so many Barlows and not Barlows, so many clip points, and they've a different little shape on each one, and that is a lovely thing about it. I'm taken with the shape. Yeah. Shape of something visually hits me.
It would be so easy, and I've seen companies do it where they use the same blade on different knife handles.
Yep.
But they don't, do they? Every different knife has a slightly different blade, and it's lovely.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, even their Stockman is different. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, I just find them super. That's a knife that I would recommend to any. You know, we used to have starter knives you would have recommended to people.
Yeah.
That to me is a starter knife for anybody of any age, of any sex. That is the knife that I would recommend from Rosecraft.
But the thing about it is, it's a starter knife that you could probably hold on forever.
Absolutely, that would do you till you die. Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
It's a good enough knife, to be in any collection.
Yeah, the Tallahassee's another one. I mean, that beautiful blue bone is absolutely stunning.
Stuart's telling us to move on because he's afraid Mikey might get attached to that knife, and he can almost taste it. It's that close to being his.
Don't worry, Stu. I'm pretty sure I can get Jud's one if I trade him a stovepipe.
Oh, don't even mention that name in here. No.
Slippy.
Don't do it. He'll come back again. Yeah, that's the rule. See?
Stuart, by the way, don't you worry. I have another pattern that they do is beautiful, and it's for you. If you want it, you can come down and we'll sort out a very reasonable exchange of cash.
A reasonable exchange of cash. That means you
Stuart,
take your wallet off you at the door.
Stuart,
just be careful.
Stuart, don't listen to him. My deck chair will be cheaper.
Okay.
Super.
So that's two winners right there.
2 winners. So you pick the last one then.
Right. So we agreed that we would bring an Ashley in that we've all got, and it has to feature again because we haven't shown this one off enough. And
I'm excited.
I haven't, but that's Ashley for you, isn't it? I mean, every time we mention Ashley, we just get fizz, as we say.
I'm fizzing.
So, there we go. There you go. Let me see if I can. That's us. Watch me open myself.
Yeah, just slice his hand open.
There you go.
As opposed to Stevens. I mean, this was one of the Barlows that we asked them to do. We have a spear point, and we have this. It's in the lignum vitae with the green liners on the side and the filed back spring, and that lovely sort of serpentine columnar pattern. I can't remember which it is. It's not a
serpentine.
What is it?
It's nearly.
No, not that. I'm talking about the file.
The file work.
No, it's just a sort of different
boxed cross.
Boxed cross. Look at that.
It's just beautiful knife. Everything about this is just
with the big bolster. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So it was. The first one we got was the spear point, and it was a huge success. Stephen had a huge difficulty actually getting it out of his pocket because he was so surprised because he wasn't sure that a fat spear was.
Well, it was your choice for the blade. It was your choice. I mean, the next one's Mikey's. God knows what we're going to get. Yeah. We're going to get a Lansky lookalike.
But the simple fact of the matter was that the spear point was a hard one to follow up because it was just so good.
Such a good knife.
And then, but then we always say that the clip that Arthur Wright do, the clips, all of the variations on the clips. Again, they're another one that has never missed. And this is pretty much the standard Barlow clip on this, and it's just phenomenal.
It really is. I just think this is the world. In all the clips I've ever had, this is the one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is long before I became obsessed with clip point. You know, this is just stunning. This knife in hand is beautiful. Again, it's that size. I'm just trying to think. There probably isn't that much difference in the length. Maybe a little bit more on the
from the King.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, it is. You got the blades are about the same. The blades are about the same, but you've got that working. There we are. If I do show it here.
Yeah, a little bit of
that's
extra.
The difference. You got a little bit of extra on the handle that really gives you that super working knife grip. It's just a pleasure to own that as well. It really is. These three knives are and completely different price bracket.
Yeah,
you know, from them jumping to this, completely different price bracket.
Yeah, but the pattern itself, you can see. Okay, it's customized and they've got the flattened bolsters and everything, and all the materials. But the pattern itself, you can see the reflection of it in the standard Barlow.
Yeah,
exactly. Arthur Wright do, and I mean the mechanics of it are the same. It doesn't have a half stop, but. Sorry, I'm having a moment. And the action on an Arthur Wright, and particularly on an Ashley, is just outstanding.
You just feel when you've locked up, that's it, I'm ready to go.
But that's what I always say about an Arthur Wright, is that when you lock up on an Arthur Wright, you may as well be holding the fixed blade.
Yeah. Show the spear point with it, Mikey, because these are probably the two favorite knives in my collection now, and that's really hard to say. But they are just beautiful. Look at that spear. It's got a point on it. It's got a belly on it. It is lovely, and they've got hollow grinds. And in case anybody's thinking, how do you get knives made? when you can't get, when the Arthur knives are in hold. Ashley does these grinds himself on these.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a big machine, but he's enough to do what he needs for his custom work, not batches that they're going to make, of 500 or whatever. So that's why the machine's broke. That's why they're out getting fixed. But Ashley does his own customs on his own grinder, which is not for mass production, but it's good enough for him to do his personal knives. I just wanted to clear that up in case anybody's thinking, oh, you can get yours done when you want. That's why the Ashleys are separate from the mainstream.
Yeah.
Mikey,
your thoughts?
I've got a confession.
Go ahead.
When we went to Sharp Show 23, I was not a lover and had never been a lover of a Barlow.
Yeah.
And then I started to get Barlows, and then I started to really like Barlows. And my number one traditional knife was a Sodbuster. It now might be a Barlow.
Yeah.
It might be a Barlow, then a Sodbuster. I picked up a lovely older stock Arthur Wright Rosewood flat bolstered Barlow from Jane at the famous Sheffield shop. Slippy found it at the back of one of the drawers. And she let me have it for 32 quid because it was an old stock one. And that's when I got my first flat bolstered Barlow. And then these came along. As you said, we got the spear point first. But then this came, and this for me is probably my perfect Barlow. Yeah. It's absolutely faultless. I absolutely love it. The case copper lock, I wish mine had a carbon steel blade. The Rosecraft, I wish I had the wooden one and maybe was a little bit wider. But this to me is perfection. There's nothing I would change about this knife.
Yeah, and that's the joy of a custom. You can get everything that you want on a knife. It's how it's done then is the next important thing. And look at that. You can't fault that knife. It's just flipping. It's everything you'd want from a custom maker at a price, I know they're quite expensive and can be quite expensive, but they're less than a basics, a spider code, you know what I mean?
No, I.
A spider code of the same size. Say a Para 3 is going to be more expensive than this.
No, I.
And I know which one I'd want to go the rest of my life with.
Yeah, I know I would.
Simple as that,
And I'd come round on that journey too, but there's just something special about it.
Well, I'm not saying the spider code's bad, but
no.
For me, it's
no, it's what. Yeah.
Do you know what it is for me? And that case is a gorgeous knife. It really is. And this is absolutely stunning. This being totally sort of handmade as well. And knowing the maker as well it's probably got something to do with it.
And when we found out where he got his lignum vitae from, that blew our minds.
Yeah, I know.
And we told everybody, if you can't remember, the lignum vitae was used in bowling balls, like crown green bowling balls. Still is, although I think it's probably changing because it's becoming harder and harder to get
to find lignum
vitae because it's such a slow growing. It's one of the densest. It's nearly impermeable to anything in a jungle or wherever it grows, whatever forest it is.
Doesn't float
straight to the bottom. Doesn't let bugs into it. It's such a tight grain that the bugs can't get into it. It doesn't rot. It's
phenomenal stuff.
Crown green bowls played in the wet and everything, and it's all they do is white them.
But it's the feel of it too. You
Absolutely.
Can actually feel the density of the wood, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Now the thing is, Mikey, I'm going to disagree with you on this, and I'm going to stick to my guns because, for me, the perfect Barlow is the spear. The clip is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer the spear every single time. And it's funny what we're saying about even with a custom maker, and I don't know what it is about being a collector, or you get there. There's always something that can be improved, or there's always something missed. Now, it could be a tiny, tiny thing, but for me, now don't get me wrong, this knife is amazing, but the action on this knife is just not slightly as good as the spear point that I have. The spear point is just slightly snappier, slightly tighter.
Yeah, but my spear point.
And it may be because I haven't loved this one in the same way that I love the spear. I don't know.
My clip is slightly snappier and slightly tighter.
There you go.
So that's the whole handmade process, isn't it?
Mine's not. Mine's loose. But this one, and it goes to show you that when you're getting a knife put together, even by somebody as established as Ashley is, they can't get them the same every
and
knife.
These are exactly the same knife.
Yeah,
exactly
all made at the same time.
At the same time.
But mine is much
with slight variations.
Yeah, mine's much looser. It's not that it's weak in any way, but it's much softer. Yeah, I mean, you feel the difference.
Oh, I mean, that's not
much
even
softer. No,
the lockup is still
just the lockup is still there, and it just that's the thing.
Well, that's a nice edge on that, Stephen.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're sharp. That's
good. It's getting better.
But you know what? My spear point is it is softer. It's definitely softer.
Yeah, mine's much softer than Justin's, but
I must have got the tight one, as the actor said to the bishop. No,
but yeah, I mean, and this is the joy. And you said if you've got a custom maker that you're following and he doesn't improve as you're going along, there's something wrong, because then he's lost hope, or not lost hope, but lost that strive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, a footballer is good when he starts, say, but he improves because that's what his trade. And any trade, electrician, plumber, if they're not improving, then I don't know. To me, it would be a bit of a letdown if they weren't improving.
No, I know, absolutely.
But no, this is Lignum vitae was originally from the Caribbean because it's the national tree of Barbados or somewhere like that.
All right,
and
the
Lignum vitae that you get now is coming from Argentina, and it's still very, very nice, but it's not as nice.
Right. Well, there you go. Now I didn't know that. That's nice to know. But a bowling ball, when you find out your knife handle is made from a bowling ball, that's the creativeness of a small business getting you good wood.
But but the most fascinating part of that was when he showed us. And because I mean, apart from anything else, you look at a bowling ball and you wonder how that. And it's what he showed us the bowling ball that it came from, or that they were using, and then he showed us this block of wood that they just bandsawed the ends off and squared it off, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh yeah, they're solid and they're just big lumps of wood.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic just seeing that as part of the process.
Yeah. So yeah, they're really, really special knives. And it's funny, I had the clip point first. I got a wee sneaky special knife from Ashley, if you remember. I can't even tell you about it, but I got one, which was the clip point. So I knew the clip point I was going to love.
Yeah.
What I didn't know was how much I was going to love the spear point.
Yeah. Sorry, Mikey, go ahead.
I was a little bit It wasn't that I didn't want one, but I was hoping to get a clip point, and then we went for the spear, didn't we, first? And I was like,
me and you were both the same, weren't we, Mikey? We both weren't sure on that.
As soon as I picked them up, as soon as I picked that spear point knife up, I was like, oh wow, wow, this is amazing.
You guys humoured me.
I've actually gone on.
No. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'll be absolutely honest with you, Judd. I doubted you. Absolutely doubted you. Not for the first time, but it won't be for the last.
No, and I'm glad that you've learned, Mikey, and I certainly hope that Gus has learned now from his, because I used the same trick on you two as I did on Gus, and I was getting nothing until I mentioned fat spear, and the two of you went, well, we haven't got one of them. Well, let's give it a go then.
To be fair, there's not an Ashley pattern that I've ever said no to.
No, that's very true. That is very true.
Yeah. And when you get a chance, you buy it.
But here's a good question from Stuart. And Mikey, this is for you, probably in the first instance, seeing as it's your choice next time. If you were to add a third of this style, and we haven't decided if we're going for a third one of this yet, but if we were to, what blade would you go for?
If I was going to go for a third one, I quite like the piercing ability of the lamb's foot, but I've got to say, since I've been carrying my sheep's foot for work, I'm quite a big fan of it. But I might say change it and go for a Wharncliffe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a nice fat Warncliffe.
That would be the word. The only way I would go for that if it was a fat Warncliffe.
Not the electric one.
Yeah, something like
or
something like that.
or a fat spade blade.
Well, I mean, I would go with a not as fat as the one I have.
No. I mean, yours. You probably wouldn't fit in the handle.
It would be nice, and it's one of them things. There's not going to be many of them out there.
It's true.
And I'm telling you, I use that one. That's when I was talking about it today in the video today. I use that fat spear constantly.
I was thinking perhaps like a fatter Warncliffe, one that sort of like goes down, and that might be nice. I've got my two favourite blades, so if there's not a third one, then I'm not really bothered. But
well, here's my other option. Oh, that's a good opener. That one.
Was that the?
What about the? Oh, sorry. What about the Lanny's clip blade on the Barlow with a look at that? Come on, baby, look at that.
I do like a Lanny's. Again, you get some belly and a clip, don't you? It's a Lanny's clip.
Such a beautiful knife. Beautiful. And that with the lignum vitae and a larger bolster, I think would look stunning.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. My question is whether that satisfies Stuart's requirement to be a completely different blade shape.
Well, there you go. That's what I would go
that
for.
Would be another clip point, wouldn't it? But something like that, or something like a fat Warncliffe, or all three of the above.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be adverse to this. Yeah. Their farmer pattern, their sheep's foot is fantastic.
It's lovely.
It really is.
And it's really usable.
I actually wouldn't mind a bunny knife with lignum vitae and a Barlow bolster with the bunny knife blade where it's slightly decanted down.
Oh, you've upset Matt again because you got your spade blade out.
Yeah, bless him.
Our work here is done.
No, we're not meant to upset him, are we? Oh, is that the point?
Of course it is. That's our job.
Well, Matt, I sent you a wee was it Facebook? I never know what it is. What did I send it? No, Messenger. I sent you a wee message on Messenger today.
No. They're having a love-in, Mikey. Talking behind our backs.
If you would send us a wee answer as soon as you can, and I'll get it off to you.
Stuart, you're going to get us all into trouble here, you know. Will you listen?
I like Stuart. I like Stuart.
Stuart, that is perfect. Yes, we will.
Stuart, if you say so, then we will do it.
Yeah. I mean, we have to now.
Yeah, well, Stuart's made us.
Well, I mean, Stuart said so, and he's the boss, isn't he? So
absolutely.
It may take us a while, but with all the other Arthur Wrights and Ashley in between.
We've ordered a completely brand new. That was a bit of knife news, I should have said. Not telling them what it is, but we've ordered a brand new pattern from Ashley.
Yes, well, but here's the thing, though. If Ashley will not be making us our new knives until such times as the tackler, the Paddy Potato Peelers knife is out. I'm making that rule.
No, he said it would be a while.
We're going to get these boys sorted out before we get ourselves sorted out again. We owe them that much.
Still ordered
it. but actually, you have to get the order in at least 3 months in advance.
Exactly. So if it's not there by the time that, I'm not giving Justin his.
Anyway, that's our 3 for Thursday.
We've got a couple of minutes.
So I think we can have a look at our number 4, Mikey. I think you should take it away with this one as well.
Well, this I suppose is our modern choice, isn't it?
Yeah. We had 3 traditional, so we kept this till the end just in case we ran out of speech.
So we've got it's a very modern screw construction slip joint that tends to use super stills. And we've all got this knife, and there's quite a few people in the chat that have got one of these. And us 3 certainly agree with this being an absolutely fantastic little knife, and it is the Spyderco UK PK.
Absolutely.
Now it's one of my favourite Spydercos, and I do have quite a few. This for me, I don't know. It's just so comfortable. It's got a great action on it for a modern knife as well. You've got the half stop. You've got the one-handed opening and closing. It's just Stig's in.
Stig's
Brilliant.
in. It's the Spyderco conversation at 100 yards.
And obviously, you know, because they are screwed construction, there's lots of firms out there like Vapor Puffin that make different scales for them and stuff.
Yep.
There's even different blade shapes. You know, there's different grinds. This is an early one with a saber grind.
Look at that.
That's probably my favourite I've ever seen of them. I have that one, but the other thing I'm going to say, Stig's in, and for anybody that doesn't know, Stig is a modder, and I'll show you a knife very shortly that I had modded by Stig, and I just want you to see the sort of work that he does at a very, very reasonable in your pocket price.
Mikey, where'd you get the scales for that one? Those are titanium, aren't they?
This was the last knife I bought from Heine, and this was from last year. So I had a bit of money sat in PayPal. So I bought myself a brand new UK PK in Spire 27, and I bought the Heine titanium scales.
Oh, very nice.
And it just puts a little bit of weight and sort of food into it, because these lightweight scales, they are very lightweight, you know, and it's a really light knife, but it's blade heavy. But this kind of really does like the balance.
Yeah, the UK PK, and they say the UK PK. To me, this is a knife anywhere in the world if you want a really reasonably priced Spyderco, because they are reasonably priced for what Spyderco.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can get it. I mean, near enough the base now is in blooming S30V.
Yeah.
This one is, and it's.
I think the base one is BD1.
Yeah, BD1, but
and I think it's about £99.
Yeah. And super steels, it's you know, S30V is just.
Sorry, I'm going to have to break into the broadcast for an important message.
You've
messaged the wrong person, probably, Stephen.
No, I did send him a message. It's on what was it to say it was on? Messenger.
Well, Facebook Messenger.
I'll send you it again later on.
Did you do it in like smoke signals?
Oh, I've no idea. I couldn't find his name, and it was the only place I found his name, so I sent him a text.
Show us your UK PKs then, boys. Come on.
Right.
Slippy, text me your address and your email, and I'll find it whenever it comes up on whatever thing it lets me know whatever you're doing it, because I've lost the blooming thing again.
Look, this isn't a chat board. This is a live show.
Sorry.
Yeah. This is my UK PK. It's the only one I have. This
those scales.
No, this is, yeah, these are the Vapor Puffin scales with micarta and burlap micarta. And Stig, I hope you recognize your workmate, because this is outstanding.
Look at that.
Look at that. Come on. Now, and anybody looking at this, you know, I just can't help myself. It's just gorgeous. This knife is fantastic. And I slip it into my pocket. Slip this knife in my pocket when I'm wandering around the house, just because especially at this time of year, this knife is so light. I mean, Mikey was talking about got the titanium scales to add weight. These micarta scales are even lighter, I think, than the FRN ones. This, believe it or not, is the UKPK Salt, although it's completely unrecognizable. This is in Magna Cut, and Stig has done his thing with it, which is
it's a beautiful thing,
fantastic. But this is a collector's piece for me forever. And again, I mean, while it's a fantastic knife, it's beautiful to carry. It's wonderful materials. It's got the best materials. Spyderco, as always, best materials you can get for a modern knife. Fantastic wee yoke. With my slip joints, everybody knows that I like a slip joint with a good lockup and a good. I don't like a squishy slip joint.
Yeah.
This is different because there's no tension in it when you're opening it. But when you get past the half lock and it locks in, it just locks in really superbly. And the design of the knife where you hold it with the finger choil just means
it's never going to go anywhere.
It's never going to close, not in any meaningful way that'll damage it. So it is not the most amazingly locked up or fantastic slip joint action for a slip joint, but it just works. It just works.
And it's the only Spyderco where I use that way to open it.
Yeah, and me.
My Spydercos. It's the only one I use that opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works so well, doesn't it? Straight from the pocket and straight open.
The close it is literally just close it on your finger because it can't cut you.
Yeah.
And away you go. Oh, listen to that. I mean, that's fine for it. Mine's just a basic one, an S30V, but mine has been stigged with the creepy spiders all over it and a few 4-leaf clovers.
I do like this blade shape though, Stephen. I think this blade shape is
my
kind of cool.
favorite blade shape. When I first came around, I had the original Delica, the flat grind Delica. Not the original, but the flat grind Delica, and with that just spear shape on it. I never liked it, but this I didn't buy this because I was using my little Ganzo knockoff. That was what I was using as a Spyderco at the time, more than it was the Spyderco.
Okay, Tony, I won't say that again.
But this shape just really does it for me, and then to get Stig to do this for me. I can't thank him enough. And honestly, his prices will shock you. And I mean that in a really good way. He charges a very fair price for doing something like this or that. And just contact him, all the usual methods.
So
WJR, we like to ring the changes every now and again, but
we've got to show moderns. We show moderns as well.
We do the whole thing.
We do the whole shebang. So, is there anything that you don't like about the UK PK, boys?
Absolutely nothing I don't like. Now that I've got the blade shape I want, nothing at all. Even the G10 scales, I like the G10 on it because they're a bit more solid feeling than the lightweight ones.
Yeah.
They give you that. I've got a grip off it. Yeah. The other ones are a wee bit skinny, I find, just for me.
What do you think of my card?
Oh, my card is even
it doesn't have the weight though, but it's got the warmth.
It is an awful lot lighter than that even.
Yeah, it is. Although that's still
they're not heavy, but I mean this is
incredibly solid. That's the G10 is solid.
This feels solid out.
Yeah.
It's a sort of knife that honestly, if you're thinking of what's your first Spyderco, just buy this. Just buy it, no matter where you live in the
UK legal. You've got a choice of steels, haven't you? From BD1, S30, Spy 27, Magna Cut. I mean,
and you find. I mean, Mikey and Sean are proof positive that you find these everywhere. Mikey's been finding secondhand ones of these in bargain bins for 10 or 20 quid times. It's ludicrous. How much was that one, Mikey?
20 quid.
Jeez.
I mean, that to me is the prettiest one out there with that saber grind. I love that.
Now, it did originally have black covers, but these are the blue covers from the Spy 27. Because I just wanted like nice bright colours on it, really. But this blade grind is wonderful.
Beautiful.
It is class. No, Mikey, in terms of the only thing I would say that I would complain about in terms of the UK PK is just the sort of action on it is just a wee bit flaccid. But that's just the design of the knife. It's got apart from that, that's only in comparison more than anything else. But apart from that, everything else is just.
I would like, I would agree with you, Judd. I'd like a little bit of a crisper action, a little bit stronger, maybe. And the only other thing that I find about UK PKs, thinking about it, is I think they're a little bit too expensive for what they are.
That's a good point.
I think the price of them. That's the thing. For the base price of like £100, that's a lot of money.
It's cheaper than the Delica.
But the Delica's gone up now. The new price of the Delica is 133.
That's what I'm saying. These are cheaper than the Delica.
But these are UK legal.
Much better knife, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think because these are UK legal, the price is probably a little bit higher than it should be. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want one, get one. I obviously like them, But I would like to see these probably around the £75 mark for the base model.
And to be honest with you, you can pick them up in the second-hand market for that.
You can.
Yeah,
I'm going to answer WJR's question here because honestly, Ashley would take up the challenge, and he would try to make it. He would make a UK PK variant with a lockup and an action that would take the arm clean off you.
Damn, that really set my head away.
Oh, actually, you know what, WJR? That's a fantastic idea.
Oh, dear, dear.
Oh, oops.
Oh, dear, dear. A nice wooden. Lignum vitae.
And then we get Sting to do the action.
Oh.
No, stop it. Stop
You
it.
used to a fizzing there, aren't you? You're both fizzing.
And it's not going to be pretty, Mikey. It's not going to be pretty. Folks, thank you so much for joining us, Mikey.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic run through Four Knives. It's been again a lovely Thursday evening to share some mindless discussion, but actually it was quite cool.
I really enjoyed it. It's nice to have you all here, because without you, we have nothing. And please, before you leave, hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and you'll get to see more videos in my channel, and you'll get to see this video every Thursday with the three of us having a bit of crack. And if you've got any suggestions or things you would like us to talk about, please put them in the...
That's a great idea. Yeah, what a great plan. If anyone's out there and they'd like to see some of our knives that you know that we've got, or we don't show them very much, or you've got a little way of, like a show that you'd like to see, just let us know. We'd love to do it.
But do us a favour, would you do it when the video goes up live and do the comment in there? Because if you do it on here, it disappears afterwards, and I can't reply to them. So please do it on the video when it goes up live. You can comment there, folks.
I've just got to do a couple of butt plugs. There's a live show on Friday night with myself, Slip Joint Sawyer, and Naked Sean. Tomorrow night it's going to be about Sheffield knives. Then we've got the S&T show on Sunday at 6 o'clock. And we've got.
Sorry, Mikey, just to interrupt. If you just check the comment there, Slippy's just put in, could we do a good show? My return to that is you first. No. Sorry, Mikey, go ahead.
So I think me and Slippy and Sean are on at 9:30 tomorrow night, and then the S&T show at 6 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah.
And I think MB and Sean are taking a week off, aren't they?
I believe they're taking a week off. If I've got that wrong, boys, I'm really sorry.
A week off? They've only just bloody started.
I know.
A week off, nice, but
Mark's a busy lad.
Mark, who says that he's not a knife guy, also loves the UK PK. So that's another big shout out for it.
Well, he carries that every single day, doesn't he?
You know, but he manages to control his urges, which we all know he has, because he's one of us. By saying, "Oh, he's only got the basic steel one." So what we're going to do is we're going to get him like a Magna Cut or a S110V1 or a Spy 27 or something special, and then he'll be hit by the knife steel snobbery that comes to all of us.
Just get him an S30V.
Even that would do.
It'll do you all day, won't it? It's S30V, for God's sake.
I love S30V. It's a great steel.
Great steel.
And there we go. A shameless US plug. Girls with Thrifty Knifty on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
I'm tuning into that one, that's for sure. Is that the late night one?
Yeah,
that's the late night one. That's for the US boys and girls, and also Tony Tensheds, because he doesn't sleep. He doesn't need sleep, does he?
Yeah, that's the vampire in him, obviously. Folks, thanks again very much for joining us. We will be back next week with some other nonsense we haven't thought of yet, but I'm sure we'll have a quick conversation to cover it. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it.
Everybody.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.
Good evening, all.
Holla.